This is an emergency bulletin from the Department of Spatial Continuity and Public Safety. Please remain calm. This message is not a drill. We are issuing a formal behavioral anomaly alert pertaining to a series of visual disturbances observed in residential and workplace environments over the past 48 hours. The incidents, while varied in detail, share one consistent feature. The subject's shadow begins to act independently. Reports began quietly, dismissed as stress-induced hallucinations or tricks of lighting. A man in Elkhart noticed it first in a mirror. His body turned to leave the room, but the shadow hesitated, still facing forward. A child in Gainesville said his silhouette stayed behind at the bus stop after he stepped onto the vehicle. A teenager in suburban Detroit described looking down while tying his shoes, only to see his shadow staring back up at him, motionless, head tilted, hands clenched. These are not metaphors. We are not referring to mental disassociation or symbolic detachment. Your shadow, your literal silhouette projected by light, may no longer be synchronized with your movements. At first, the discrepancies are minor. A blink missed, a delayed head turn, a lag in your walk. But the longer it's observed, the more confident it becomes. It begins to test the boundaries, staying perfectly still when you move, or shifting slightly when you are asleep. It begins to forget its place. Subjects have reported the sensation of being watched from behind while in brightly lit rooms. Others describe waking up at night with light from the hallway casting a shadow onto the ceiling, even though they're lying flat. Some see hands rise behind them in reflections before they feel the urge to move. One woman was found unresponsive in her home, eyes open, fingers digging into her own shoulder, as if restraining herself, but surveillance footage showed her shadow had already let go. There are physiological symptoms as well. Those exposed begin to lose depth perception. They bump into corners, misjudge stair heights, develop a persistent sensation of leaning, even when sitting still. Some stop casting shadows altogether for brief periods, only for them to reappear seconds later in completely different positions. Not matching, not mirroring, waiting. The shadows are learning. They watch your routines, your hesitations, your private moments. They do not speak, but some have been seen mouthing during phone calls. Others have made writing motions when the subject is journaling. One man reported seeing his shadow hold its breath when he did not. Do not attempt to trick it. It already knows how you think. It remembers things you've forgotten. It knows where you hide, and it's patient. There is a phase we've identified in advanced cases. We call it dissolution. The affected individual begins to feel a pull, not emotional, but physical. Their body feels slow, rubbery. The lights feel colder. Reflections begin to double. And at a certain point, the shadow no longer needs light. It appears even in complete darkness. In one case, a child screamed during a thunderstorm, not because of the lightning, but because her shadow was standing at the foot of the bed between flashes. Please understand, once your shadow stops obeying light, it is no longer part of you. If you see it move on its own, do not follow it. Do not turn your back on it. And above all, do not stand in the dark. If the lights go out and it is still visible, it is watching to see if you'll run. This concludes the transmission. If your shadow moved without you today, don't sleep where it knows you will lie down.